You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
So excited you could join me for part 2 today of our weekend Cabral House Calls. We're going to be answering more of our community's questions. Always enjoy being able to hear the questions that you're asking because, you know, to be honest, not only do I enjoy answering them, but it gives me a lot of great ideas for future shows, future podcasts. So like yesterday, we talked about hair loss. That is already going to be, it's in the queue for a future show, probably within the next, I would say 2 to 4 weeks. And I'm excited to bring that show to you because I know there's a lot of people right now, both men and women, struggling with hair loss or hair thinning. And so what I want to do is bring a lot of the research that I've found to you in hopes that you're able to keep a nice healthy head of hair. And so again, that's where all of this comes from. Super excited every single weekend to be able to read your questions. I do read them in order of that they come in. So again, we're still getting through February's questions and it's now end of May. So you can just see that we're about 3 months behind now. 3 months behind. Yes, I have to say that. We're about 12 weeks behind. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you can get your questions answered much, much sooner by going to cabralsupportgroup.com. It's a free Facebook support group that I've set up. And it's my health coaches, myself, my team answering your questions on a daily basis. Just literally trying to be your sounding board. But it's also getting support. Like there's a lot of people on that doing the Doctor Cabral Detox and they're looking for support. We're here to support you. We really are. This is a mission of all of us trying to get healthier. Every day, I try to get healthier. Some days are better than others for myself. Sometimes I don't get in the workout that I want. Sometimes I don't get to have the meal that I want. Like all of those things. But it's a journey, right? We're all on the journey. We're trying to do our best. And that's the whole point. So if we can support each other, understand that we're all in this together, then it makes it a little easier. It really does, because you understand that you're not perfect. Neither am I. Neither is anybody else. But we can try to do our best and try to be good 90% of the time. 9 out of 10 times. If we do that, I think we're way ahead of the game. I truly believe that. So thanks for tuning in. And let's get right into today's first question. First question is from Somah or Somah. Let's just spell it out. S-O-M-A. And again, this one came in on February 20th. Hi, Dr. Cabral. Hope you're well. Your podcasts have changed my life. They're so informative. I've recommended you and your supplements to anyone who will listen. Thank you, Somah. I take your CBD oil, vitamin D, vitamin C, and some other things you recommend. I'm a 39-year-old female, eat well, exercise, but in the last year, I've had 7 bouts of tonsillitis. The doctors recommended that I get them removed, but I'm a bit skeptical. I've been on antibiotics all of last year and even steroids. There has to be a better way. Please help. I'm so close to just getting them removed. I have an infection right now. Any information you can offer is deeply appreciated. Thank you so, so much. Okay. Again, apologize. This is 12 weeks later. I think we need to get you that answer faster. But obviously, people don't know that it's going to take 12 weeks for me to answer that on the house calls. And we get a lot of questions each and every week. So here's the deal. If you're still dealing with it, you still have those tonsils, we can help. I've done many, many shows. That's why I want people to understand most of these questions have been answered in some form or another. Go to stephencabral.com/podcast. And in this case, just type in tonsil. That's it. That's the keyword, tonsil. Or tonsillitis. But again, if you type in tonsil, which is a shortened version of tonsillitis, then tonsillitis will pop up as well. And if you do that, you'll get all my recommendations. So I've already answered this before. I feel bad not answering it fully again, but I want to get to as many questions as possible. So check out that show. You will see it's ear, nose, and throat spray, right? You'll do all that because we want to make sure you don't have postnasal drip. One reason for the tonsil swelling. Food sensitivities. Do a food sensitivity test. Tonsil swelling. You'll run an organic acids test. Candida overgrowth. Up all the way in the esophagus, that as well. But use the fire cider, use the nutribiotic products, everything that we recommend at the Stephen Cabral store for the ear, nose, and throat protocol. Recommend going back and tuning into that podcast, gargling with the fire cider, the cayenne pepper, all of those things will help tremendously. But then also figure out that root cause. Do a Doctor Cabral detox, fix your gut, figure out why the body's, because they're lymph nodes, figure out what the body's filtering, right? This is not conventional medicine. Can't see literally the forest through the trees. They can't. Like, it's just like, they don't get it. Meaning, like, what are your, like, does anyone stop to ask what your tonsils are? I mean, they're literally filters. They're filters. So if we're looking at them as they clean up that area, well, we say, well, what's right below it or right above it that needs to be cleaned up? It's kind of like, just look at that. And if you haven't cut out dairy and you haven't cut out gluten, you haven't cut out those things, then you need to cut those out. I mean, like, this is how we do it for kids all the time too. It's just so important. So important. So check that out, and happy to be hopefully helpful in that circumstance. And Anonymous is up next. Hello, Dr. Cabral and team. I just received diagnosis on Friday of esophageal cancer. It was a complete shock. I'm 56-year-old male, 6'1", 235. Unfortunately, thought that my ability to swallow was a temporary issue. I have barium swallow, endoscopy, and CT scan. Results from the latter should be back tomorrow. Weight loss is accelerated to about 1 pound a day. Started on Ensure today. Tough getting down. I've been eating cream of wheat with bone broth, athletic greens, nut soups, avocados. Just finished listening to your podcast in January and had ordered your 7-day detox a few weeks ago. Obviously, won't be finished that off. In the process of setting up my team to fight cancer, hoping you can help me point me in the right direction. Okay, Anonymous, I feel for you. I know that you keep your body strong and you do everything that you can with both if you're going the conventional medicine route, absolutely support you in that. Do your best everything that way and do your best everything that you can naturally. Since I can't do a podcast just this would be an hour long on what to do with cancer, I recommend going to cancertutor.com. I've explained this before. That's where you get a lot of your help as well. And I cannot recommend the product Ensure. I don't think it's a good product. I apologize. I don't usually speak negatively about a product. It's not a healthy product. It's not a healthy product at all. And eating cream of wheat, inflammatory. Like, I just can't recommend these things. I know you're trying to get nutrients and calories, but why not do something like the daily nutritional support shake? Like, I just, or again, it doesn't have to be my product. Like, choose your favorite functional medicine company. It doesn't not matter to me. You're doing a great thing with your greens and soups and avocados. And so, but look at that. Look at, really great alkalizing based foods and something like the daily fruit and vegetable blend or your greens that you're doing and go from there. But certainly cannot recommend the first two things that you've been given as recommendations. I wish you the best. And I recommend going to cancertutor.com and following a lot of those recommendations right there. It would be unethical of me to give cancer-based advice on a podcast. So I apologize, but what I would do, and again, what I recommend is going to cancertutor.com. Okay. Shannon's up next. Shannon's writing in. Hi, Dr. Cabral. My question is regarding where to start in terms of what test to purchase to get a better idea of my health status. I'm 33, 5'4", 62 kilograms. My weight has not changed in the past 7 years, but my body composition has. Very active, eat organic foods, limit my dairy and grains. I've replaced my black morning coffee with ACV, lemon, and sea salt, and incorporated your fruit and veggie smoothie. Notice an instant change, less bloating, no heart palpitations or anxiety. I was thinking of starting with the organic acids test, but not sure. I would also like to complete your 7-day detox, but trying to conceive. Would you recommend? Very grateful for your time. Thank you, Shannon. All right, Shannon, we can help you with this. There's a podcast, one of our most popular ones, called How to Have a Happy and Healthy Pregnancy. Just type in healthy pregnancy at stephencabral.com/podcast, and it's a 25-minute show on exactly what to do. You want to do a heavy metal detox, you want to do the Doctor Cabral detox, and you also want to be fortifying your body right now with lots of good omega-3s, your greens, and your daily nutritional support. All right. I mean, like, basically the Doctor Cabral daily protocol, do the detox first, do the heavy metal detox so that you get these toxins out of your body so they don't pass through your placenta to your unborn baby. Because remember, if you read my book, The Rain Barrel Effect, it talks about the 10 American study that showed the average number of toxins in the unborn fetus is over 270, and they only tested for about 400 toxins. And that's because moms hold on to all of these toxins in their body and they get passed on to the baby. Of course, no mom would ever want that for their child, but nonetheless, it is happening. In terms of lab testing, I would run the organic acids test and hair tissue mineral analysis. We call it our starter kit. If you're looking for a place to start, always the organic acids test and the hair tissue mineral analysis. One shows you gut and your vitamins, and the other one showing you all of your mineral-based levels, especially when trying to conceive. That's my recommendation. This was written in on 2/20. I wish I could have gotten you the answer sooner. All right, Judy's up next. Judy's asking, I read in your FAQs that one should not eat the skins of potatoes. Does that include all varieties of sweet potatoes? Why should skins be avoided? All right, you read the FAQs far the sensitive gut guide. That does not apply to all people. All right. So why do we exclude that on the sensitive gut guide? Because we work with people with histamine issues, with candida issues, with bacterial overgrowth, and the skins of potatoes contain a lot of lectins. That's it. That's the reason why. So easy answer. I think you were reading ahead. You were cheating. That's it. But Judy, yes. I mean, on a serious note, if you're following our candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol, which we have thousands of people following, that does apply to you. If not, then, and you don't have any issues with it, and the skin has been cleaned, because remember, the potatoes can harbor a lot of mold, then you might be able to eat them. But if not, you can avoid them. It's totally up to you. It just depends if you're following our protocol or not. All right. Now, let's go to our next question. Okay, Jess is up next. Jess is asking, "Hi, Stephen. Thank you for your incredible podcast. I have a few questions. Sorry in advance for the long post. What can I do to help acne during pregnancy? I usually do have some skin problems. However, in the few weeks, it has been worse than usual. I just found out I'm pregnant about 6 weeks ago, so I think that's the reason it's gotten much worse. I'm also still breastfeeding my toddler once or twice a day, so I know a detox is out of the question. What are some other things I can do to help with this? Also, what would you suggest to use instead of toddler milk formula? When trying to wean, my little one is 19 months old and still had some breast milk apart from grass-fed toddler formula milk. What would you suggest as an alternative milk like coconut milk? Thank you so much, Jess." Okay, so a couple questions in here. One, if your acne has gotten worse since becoming pregnant, it's absolutely, well, I can't say absolutely, but most likely hormonal based. And that's because obviously your hormones are changing. So what am I recommending? Well, I'm recommending everything that you can do. So I'm recommending just to make sure that you're on your good prenatal vitamin, or you're using your daily nutritional support shake that women can use during pregnancy as well. And then just take a little extra, 400 micrograms extra of a methylfolate, basically just your folate, but a natural version of it. I'd also recommend your vitamin D, and I recommend the omega-3 support. Okay, that's basically the pregnancy protocol. Like that's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. In terms of not being able to detox, I agree, but you can still do a smoothie every morning. So I'd recommend that. I'd make sure that you're staying away from more fried foods. I'd stay away from the dairy and gluten as well, even just for a week to 2 weeks. Not only is it healthier for you not to do that, but you'll be able to see if those are affecting you more now that you're pregnant, and your body might not respond as well hormonally to those specific foods. All right, so that's what I would do to start. The daily fruit and vegetable blend is a nice one too, because that's going to help with a gentle detoxification, because it's 22 organic fruits and vegetables. It's only about, I think it's just right under $2 per serving for 22 organic fruits and vegetables. But you can also do a green juice. Green juice, I think, are great. I mean, I just think is a great thing. You might want to get yours. I hate to recommend a pasteurized one, but a lot of women are worried about the bacteria, which I completely understand. So again, that's why something maybe like a daily fruit and vegetable blend is a little bit better. All right, in terms of natural formula, I've spoken about this before, so I want to get through as many questions as possible. So you can go to stephencabral.com/podcast and type in baby formula or toddler formula, and you will find out what those recommendations are. That's more for baby, not really as much toddlers. Your child's 19, so they're essentially weaning off. So if they really are eating a good amount of solids now, or obviously softer solids, then you might be able just to move over to a nut milk, which may be fine, such as a almond milk or coconut milk, which, by the way, for everyone who's worried about calcium, actually has about 30% more calcium than cow's milk. So you can do that. You can look up the Weston Price-based formula that I speak about on the toddler one, the goat's milk-based one. So there's a lot of good, healthy alternatives that I speak about, and that will answer your question. All right, Christina is up next. Christina is rated in, "Hi, Stephen. I'm a 36-year-old woman. 2 years ago, I developed an autoimmune condition called hidradenitis suppurativa. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. So last year, I decided to change my food habits. I did a food intolerance test, and with diet, I'm in remission. My diet is gluten-free, dairy-free, nightshade-free. I eat veggies, meats, fish, fruits, and nuts. 2 months ago, I developed rosacea on one of my cheeks. At the moment, I don't understand what's going on. I've been on a healthy style since 2017. What's wrong with me?" Okay, I'm super happy for you. That's amazing. I mean, this is truly a tribute to natural health and clean eating. You cleaned up your diet, and all of a sudden your autoimmune condition went away. Absolutely amazing. I've spoken about this condition as well on the podcast. Again, just go to stephencabral.com/835, and you'll see what the name of this specific autoimmune is, and you can type it into the podcast, and you can see how my recommendations to help heal that is. Now, again, but you had an autoimmune, and it doesn't sound like you ever did anything to seal up that gut. So what I would recommend, because that's one reason why you can have rosacea as well. Rosacea really clearly in a lot of people, not everyone, of course, but a lot of people, can be tied to a candida overgrowth. So I would prefer you to run an organic acids test. And I would like to see if you do have any of that yeast overgrowth or candida overgrowth. I would also, if possible, organic acids test first, but if possible, also run a stool test just to see if there's any parasites or bacterial overgrowth. If you eliminate those and you do the topical solutions, which would be like the tea tree oil or the grapefruit seed extract, or even just some coconut oil on the rosacea, remember, that's not going to be enough. You have to heal internally. You have to heal internally to heal the skin externally. It's just, that's the way that things work. And that's because your skin is an external mirror, essentially, of what's going on internally, and good and bad. So hopefully that is the right place to start. And Christina, that's what I recommend for you to find out your answers, especially since you've done so much amazing work. So proud of you, and just keep it up. You're almost home. You're almost there. All right, Bill's up next. I have a heavy postnasal drip. I've listened to Steven's podcast, and it seems that the appropriate test for me to order is the IgG food sensitivity test. Is that the one you would recommend in order to diagnose my problem? All right, Bill. So happy to answer this question for you. Again, you can get same-day answers to what lab test is best for you by going to CabralSupportGroup.com and just write your question there, and we'll be happy to respond with an answer. All right, so what would I recommend? Well, I would recommend running the organic acids test and the food sensitivity test. Absolutely, you are correct. But just remember, we don't diagnose any problems, and the reason is that you diagnose diseases, but since in the natural health philosophy, we don't really recognize disease as the problem. We recognize it as the outward last effect or symptom of underlying root imbalances. Well, what I look for is their balances. So I tell you what your deficiencies are, and a lot of times with a food test or a organic acids test, it's what your toxicities are. Then we help to remove those toxicities so that your body has less mucus to produce, and it does not then create as much inflammation in the nasal passages as well, creating that post-nasal drip. I dealt with it for, the first 25 years of my life. So, Bill, I know exactly where you're coming from, and I know that we can help you with this as well. Absolutely. Run the food sensitivity test and the organic acids test if possible. All right, next question is from Anne. Anne's writing in, "Hi, Dr. Cabral. Thank you for addressing my questions about fructose malabsorption. About 3 years ago, I began experiencing nausea, gas, and diarrhea. I went to see a gastroenterologist, and he completed several invasive tests, as well as a test for H. pylori and SIBO. He told me that I had IBS and to take Prilosec, which I never did. A couple months went by, and diarrhea got really bad. I went to see the same doctor, and I told him that something was wrong. He said, well, I guess we can run a breath test for lactose and fructose. The last test showed that I have a fructose malabsorption. The doctor told me there is no cure and that I should avoid eating fruit with fructose in it. Little did I know that a lot of food has varying amounts. I'm fine with not eating sugar, honey, wheat, and most fruits, but I love all vegetables. I don't feel as though I'm getting a balanced diet because some veggies I can't eat. Every day I take a multivitamin, fish oil, and D3 during the winter. Will I ever be able to eat my favorite fruits and veggies again? Thank you for speaking about a common sense approach to medicine. I've referred many people to your website, Anne. All right, Anne, yeah, I'm happy to help you with this. And a lot of people have fructose malabsorption because they have gut dysbiosis and they have blunted villi. So the villi are not healthy, so they can't actually process fructose. The other thing is there's a little fructose hack, which a lot of people don't know about, and that's simply eating glucose with fructose, which then the glucose molecules are better able to carry the fructose molecules through the gut wall before they end up not being absorbed very well. So again, it's not your GI's fault. It's just they were never taught this, or if they were taught it, they were just never told to put it into practice. So all of this is fixable. May you in the future always be sensitive to higher dosages of fructose? Sure, that could be a possibility, but not with eating regular fruits and vegetables. Absolutely not. We do this all the time. So here's the deal. I would like you to run what's called an organic acids test and a stool test. And the reason I would run those is to actually look at the state of your gut. So, if you were told you have SIBO, okay, well, that essentially means that you have bacterial overgrowth. If you weren't told anything about yeast overgrowth, candida overgrowth, well, the organic acids test will help with that. The 3-day stool test will tell for parasites, H. pylori, and many other items. If you don't want to run those, then okay, I understand. What I would do is I would complete our candida and bacterial overgrowth protocol, and then the follow-up heal and seal protocol to rebuild the villi in your gut and to seal up your gut wall. It will help tremendously. And in that plan, we also give you a very specific shopping list and teach you week by week how to introduce new foods that help to build up your body's ability to deal with fructose. And you'll find out which foods are your triggers, because they all won't be. and then which ones you can deal with just fine. Again, we do this every single day in my practice, and I would not tell you that it works if it didn't. I really wouldn't. That would not be ethical of me, and I wouldn't feel right about doing that. And I honestly have no reason to, because I put my name on every single podcast. Everything I do is Cabral, Stephen Cabral, Doctor Cabral. That's my name. I'm not going to ever be the one to say that something can't be done or that I just don't believe can happen. It's also why I just don't give in-depth cancer-based protocols over a podcast. I don't think it's appropriate. And so you heard me earlier refer to cancertutor.com, a website. So if I ever feel like this is not really appropriate for me to be talking about because of many different reasons, then I will refer out to other educational sources. Then people can do more in-depth work, or of course they can work with us in person if they choose to. I don't even think that you need to work with us in person. I think you can run those labs. You'll get my recommendations. You'll get a call with one of my health coaches, and you'll be well on your way. I really believe that. All right, let's get in one more question. James is coming in today, and James is asking, as our last question, my wife is having problems with heartburn and bloating. She started the detox this Monday. What else should she do to treat this condition? Okay, so James, I'll give you the same obligatory talk that I have to give to everybody, and that's that we don't treat or diagnose disease. Natural medicine does not do that. However, we look for underlying root cause imbalances. If you go to stephencabral.com/podcast and type in heartburn, or type in acid reflux, or type in bloating, you will find a plethora of previous podcasts, all talking about how to get rid of those things. So the easy answer, though, is to run an organic acids test. And that would be my main one. I would really do that. And I would run the thyroid hormone adrenal, or at least the adrenal hormone lab. And the reason I would do that is to look for higher stress levels. You can even run a hair tissue mineral analysis. It will show you stress levels as well. After that, you'll get my recommendations. And again, my health coach, one of my great health coaches, amazing health coaches, will get on the phone with you and they will walk you through the protocol. That's what I would recommend. And again, hopefully your wife, she said she's doing the detox, which is great. If she does a 21-day detox and her heartburn goes away, essentially, it's mainly food related, right? So now what you can do is stay with the detox-based protocol, essentially. Keep doing the smoothie every morning and then test foods. Do a rotation diet. If you want to learn how to do a rotation diet, go to stephencabral.com/podcast and type in rotation diet. You will learn exactly how to figure out what foods are trigger foods for you and what foods are not. That is exactly how we do it. And again, heartburn is not something anyone should live with, because it is something that you can very easily figure out. You can ascertain what your triggers are for heartburn, and you're able to balance the body so that heartburn does not exist. All right, James, great question. Appreciate you looking out for your wife as well. Great guy right there. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Cabral House Calls each and every weekend, where I get to try to give back and I get to answer our community's questions. But as always, we are overloaded with questions, and I'm happy to answer them. But if you have a question, feel free to join cabralsupportgroup.com, where you'll literally be able to get same-day answers, pretty much same-day answers Monday through Friday, to your questions from my team of amazing health coaches who have all trained under me. And I pop in a couple times a week where I'm able to literally rapid-fire answers to many, many of the questions in there as well, if I want to add my 2 cents. So thank you so much. Really appreciate it once again. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes. Thank you for your reviews on Amazon for my new book, The Rain Barrel Effect. Thank you, one and all. And stay tuned tomorrow for our Motivation and Mindset Monday, plus the start to our brand new pop-up. Only 100 are available. Check it out. Can't wait for you to get that. All right, take care. Have an amazing weekend. Bye. Before you go, I wanted to ask you this question. What if I could teach you in just a couple of hours how to transform your thyroid, hormones, adrenal, cholesterol, blood pressure, blood sugar, weight loss, energy, mood, brain, pregnancy, anti-aging, or many other health-related issues? After 20 years in private practice, after seeing and overseeing 250,000 client appointments, I sincerely feel I have the real-world data and have found the answer you've been searching for. So what I've done is spent hundreds of hours of my own time refining what you need to know in order to uncover your underlying root cause health issues and then begin to rebalance the body and bring it back to a state of robust health and wellness. I'm going to teach you exactly what I do in my private practice so you can understand how you got here and now what you need to do in order to heal. You'll receive all of the important success checklists, protocols, and even ways to customize it to make the program fit your busy life. And you'll get all of this at a fraction of the price. Let me save you the time, money, energy, stress, and frustration of not knowing what to do next. Instead of reading dozens of books on the topic and seeing multiple practitioners, I will condense everything that you need to know in just a few hours of video tutorials that you can watch and listen to anywhere. Together, we will make this healing process an enjoyable one that you can take with you for the rest of your life. I wish you all of the best of health and happiness, and I hope to be able to guide you on your healing journey through my Health Results Accelerators. Simply choose the health imbalance you're currently suffering from, and by the end of today, you'll know what went wrong and how to get well again. I guarantee it. For details, head over now to stevencabral.com/courses.